How about that hole that was still a hole an hour later? You were still staring at it.
Yeah, that too.
Well, I was over there, and then I moved over here, and I was going to tell you about that hole as well. And an hour later, it was the same. You know what? Craig always gets me because he has
so
the best
good at that.
video. And you think back and you go, November.
Yeah.
And you walked out there, and we just came off of a record October where we had a lot of rain. But I've talked about how we were trick-or-treating in snow. And then you look at that video and you go, oh, yeah, early November used to really pack
like
a
that.
punch.
Yeah.
Very different now.
So different.
Very different. And that high pressure sets up, and we have really quiet conditions. And so, but you know what? Powder hounds, don't worry. Don't worry. We've seen this happen before.
We'll get there.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's coming. Let's go ahead and start with what we saw this morning. Some gorgeous conditions. And
That's a
tonight,
nice
isn't that a pretty
one?
one? It's a really, really pretty one. We have some gray shutterbugs, guys, from all over the state. They love to share the photos. And we've had some really good shots because unfortunately, and I don't like to give any credit to the inversion. That haze is not my friend, but it does make for some pretty sunrises and sunsets. This one coming from North Ogden. Chris went up to the mountains, and you see, yeah, not a lot of snow there, a big cottonwood. Great shot coming from Chris. And then we look at the satellite radar where a southwesterly flow is in effect, and we know that the clouds have moved out of here. We had a weak little shortwave that moved through today, but dry conditions with a lot of sunshine and a little bit of that inversion haze. Now, when we have high pressure this time of year, we actually get sinking air, subsidence, and with that, temperatures climb above average. Now, our ridge of high pressure, and the high pressure was centered over Colorado and Utah today. That acts as a storm block. Moisture goes all the way around it, and that's what we've seen for the last couple of days. We've started to flatten the ridge. We did so with that weak shortwave I mentioned, and we'll do that again a few more times this week. Nice sunset coming from Cedar City. Thanks, Phoenix, for sharing that with us. Iron County looking lovely tonight. Now, as we head into tomorrow, we do have some good news. I love some good news. We've started out November on a dry note with above average temperatures, and we see green air in the forecast. Green means clean, so we want to see this time of year, and we'll get some mixing with the southwest winds picking up that will allow for that inversion haze to clear. Nicer conditions ahead, breathing a little easier. Love that. Black Desert. Time-lapse video shows a few clouds on the move, clear skies out there. And that sun going down. Temperatures today was upper 70s in Ivan, 78 in St. George, 66 in Salt Lake City. Average is 57, so we soared above that. We're going to keep doing that into tomorrow. 60s on the eastern side of the state, 67 in Logan, 73 in Provo. Wowza. Clear skies, mostly clear for the next several hours heading into tonight, dropping into the 50s and then eventually bottoming out in the 40s. We'll see mid to upper 40s depending on if any cloud cover's out there, but mild conditions. Dry. Really dry, and that's a pattern we're going to see. Here comes the front sneaking through, flattening the ridge a little bit. Now there is moisture. It's to our west. A weakening upper level low is going to move on in, but that ridge of high pressure blocks it. So we will see a tiny bit of moisture, and you start to see it into the evening on Wednesday in Cache Valley. Latest model runs bring in some moisture to northern Utah on Thursday as the cold front passes through. Precipitation potential on Thursday elevated for Cache Valley, the Wasatch Back, and portions of the Wasatch Front. Best chance for those showers north of I-80. Not everyone will get wet weather, but everyone will feel the temperature change because we're going to drop right back to average. Big picture shows us that. Warm conditions with that high pressure really running the story. As we look at that upper level low, it's weakening as it moves inland. The core of that moisture is further north. Not going to really impact us, but it sends a front through, and that brings the chance of those isolated showers to the state line. That cold front Wednesday into Thursday will open the door for cooler air. Now that cooler air is just going to drop us back to average, which is in the 50s for this time of year, so seasonal temperatures. We get a reinforcing shot of cooler air Friday into Saturday with a trailing wave before high pressure takes over again and allows for that warming trend. Not a lot of moisture, not a lot of temperature fluctuation, and we hold on to that pattern for a while. This is the 8 to 10 day outlook. It starts to increase moisture in the beehive state, but that's November 11th. So we've got a long stretch here with fairly quiet conditions. Regional forecast into tomorrow, 60s. We're going to see upper 60s along the Wasatch Front. Utah County will go 70s again with cleaner air. 60s and 70s on the eastern side of the state. 78 in St. George. We'll see those temperatures in the 60s and 70s along the I-15 corridor. Zooming in, you can see our mountain valleys, Park City, getting into the 60s tomorrow. Still cold for the overnight in places like Heber, the Ogden Valley. You'll still be chilly, but you're going to warm things up nicely to the upper 50s and 60s, 65 in Tooele. Jumping into central Utah, mix of 60s and 70s with a little more sunshine, and then down south, where those numbers just love flirting with 80 degrees. So we look at the St. George 7-day, we get pretty close to that on Wednesday. Dry, quiet, sunny, above average, and not even a lot of wind in southern Utah. Here's the Wasatch Front. We have the warm before the storm. Wednesday into Thursday, the cold front comes through. That could bring some isolated showers, but look at that temperature drop. I went 70. I feel like we could get there, which would be absolutely lovely for November, and then